By far, Outfit7's most popular and profitable character is Talking Tom. It's like their golden child. All the other characters are cool, but Tom is the most known one. But today, Tom is almost unrecognizable compared to his glory days. This is how Outfit7 ruined Talking Tom. To explain how Outfit7 ruined Talking Tom, we have to go way back. Okay, maybe not that far back, but let's go back to 2017. This was the year that Outfit7 was sold to a Chinese company called Jink Entertainment Culture Co. Limited. Outfit7 was sold to this company for $1 billion. And while this sale wasn't really beneficial to the Talking Tom franchise, I gotta say that if I was in the position of the Outfit7 CEO, I would have definitely taken that deal. After the sale went through, the founders of Outfit7, Sam Login and Isa Login, stepped down and were replaced by a new CEO. This sale fundamentally changed the way Outfit7 operated. After the sale, we saw a lot more spin-off games based off of Talking Tom being made, and they were usually 2D games that were based off of one simple mechanic and didn't really have much substance to them. Basically just trying to make as much money off of the Talking Friends franchise as possible. We also saw the art style of the Talking Tom characters drastically change to make the characters appear a lot younger, giving them bigger eyes and a more chibi style. The new Outfit7 also really focused on virtual pet games instead of talking games. Basically games where you would take care of the character instead of just the main gimmick being talking to them. Which is really not a bad thing. I think it was a good direction for the company to head in. You can't just make talking games forever. But that is when we get to the modern day, because just a few weeks ago, Outfit7 relaunched Talking Tomcat for the second time, leaving us with this new version of Tom. As you may know, the first version of Tom looked like this in 2010, then this app was removed and replaced with this version in 2016. And now 9 years later, this app was removed and replaced with this version of Talking Tom. I actually think the 2016 redesign wasn't all that bad. It kept a lot of the main elements and characteristics of the original talking model. And I mean, to be honest, the main difference is they just kind of blurred the texture and made it a little bit smoother. But other than that, you can easily still tell that that is Talking Tom at a glance. With this new version, he's become almost unrecognizable. It seems like the only similarity between the new Talking Tom and the older ones is just the fact that it's a gray cat with green eyes. That's probably what they told the guy who made the model, just make us a gray cat with green eyes, and they just called it a day. The entire vibe of the app is also completely different. It feels like a brain rot version of the original, filled with these overly energetic animations, and for some reason there's a pretty big focus on farting, which is kind of weird. Also, there's really no way for me to verify this, but it feels like there are 10 times the amount of ads in this app than there was in the original or the 2016 version. There were so many Temu ads that you had to skip like 3 times in order to get back to the game. They probably used this opportunity to bait people's nostalgia, get them to install the app, and then shove a bunch of ads in their face to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time. You know, someone who hasn't played the game in 10 years might be like, oh, like, you know, it's a new redesign, let me check it out, and then they delete the game after like 5 minutes, but at least they saw like 20 ads, right? It kind of feels like they don't actually trust this game to do well, so they're just trying to bank on people's nostalgia as quickly as possible. I will say that in this game there's a lot more to do than the original or even the 2016 one. There's different voice modes for Talking Tom, so you can make him speak in different ways, but in this app he doesn't sound like himself. He sounds like a regular 20-something-year-old dude. He just sounds like a human. They didn't even try to change the sound or get a voice actor that makes it sound different. It just sounds like a normal dude voicing him. But there's also one other thing I'd like to note. While this app was launched in August of this year, there was an app before it that was actually launched in July. Well, technically it was launched in December, but that was a soft launch, and then they removed the app, and then they put it back a couple days later, and then they removed it again. Then it globally launched in July of this year. And this app is called My Talking Tom Friends 2. This app features the new design of Talking Tom that's in the latest Talking Tom app, but it also features a redesign of every other Talking Friends character. And to be honest, it almost looks uncanny. Angela and Ben look completely different. They gave Ben these glasses, and I mean, Angela just doesn't look like Angela anymore. But to be honest, Hank still looks like himself, and I also think it's not really a bad redesign for Hank. But this likely means that we're gonna get newer versions of Talking Ben and Talking Angela featuring these new character designs, which might be a problem because we still have the original version of Talking Ben up on the App Store and a version of Talking Angela that is pretty much exactly like the original. So a redesign would probably mean that they're gonna take these apps down after more than a decade of them being up. I honestly don't know why Outfit7 is going this route of redesigning every character and just changing the vibe up completely, but now the characters just look like this empty corporate shell of themselves. They've lost all the unique aspects of themselves that made them them. And now it looks like someone drew the characters from memory. I think Outfit7 wanted people to get excited about the franchise again, and so they thought this would be the best way to do it. But what they basically did was take the design that a lot of people are fond of and love, and that was featured in the Talking Tom and Friends show, and just threw it all out of the window to give us this modern looking version. I'm a firm believer of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I think that completely applies to this situation. The OG 2010 model wasn't perfect, it wasn't the highest quality, and at the time the game was made with pre-rendered frame, meaning that at times the game would look weird on devices of different sizes. Not to mention, but the OG Talking Tom ran at like 15 FPS, I guess that's just how they rendered it. So when the 2016 version of the app came in, it actually replaced the pre-rendered frames with a 3D model that ran in real time. Never mind, it was still pre-rendered frames in the 2016 version, but it was just higher quality and higher FPS, so it almost looked like it ran in real time. That's why the 2016 redesign of Talking Tom was actually pretty needed and came at the right time, since it fixed a lot of issues. But it wasn't until this version that released in 2025 that we actually have full real-time animations that are 60 FPS, and that by itself honestly kind of makes it a little bit uncanny, even though it's supposed to be a good thing. But I guess I'm just so used to the pre-rendered frame look that having it actually run in real time and seeing the model move is a bit weird. But this redesign just seems kind of useless. I feel like it would take people away from the franchise instead of bringing them back. I think it's kind of funny how as kids we were really drawn to the OG Talking Tom app, even though there's really nothing about it that screams that it was made for kids. It's a rough looking cat in an alleyway, yet millions of kids downloaded the app and played it. And now this version does scream that it was made for kids, but I don't think it's gonna cause the same wave that the OG Talking Tom caused 15 years ago. I think it's still gonna get a few million downloads. That's just the type of pull that Outfit7 has, no matter what they put out, but it's really not gonna hit the same as the versions before it. And although I'm not a huge fan of the new redesign, I also want to be completely fair to it, and I must say that Outfit7 has done a lot of great work in adding a bunch of features. I mean, the original was just punch, record, and eat. That was it, that's all you could do. And while this one feels a little bit more void of life, there definitely are a lot more things for you to do in this version. I think that if they just added the features to the 2016 design, it would have been perfect, but I guess you can't have everything. So if you want to have all of these features, you're gonna have to have that soulless corporate design. I also have been looking around on social media, and honestly the opinions look mixed. Some people love the redesign and others hate it. I think the redesign is trash, but the game itself, other than the redesign, is actually quite an improvement. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Anyways, that was how Outfit7 ruined the Talking Tom franchise. And I also wanted to tell you guys that the 2008 version of the Talking Tom model has fully been found, along with the bones, so it's fully rigged, marking the end of the search for the OG Talking Tom model. I would make a full video about it, but at this point I've made 2 videos, so making a third would just be kind of useless. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, a like and sub would be truly appreciated, and comment down below what you'd like me to cover next. See ya!